Happy belated Halloween to all of you in the Triggered Army. We just finished up watching our Halloween themed episodes of AEW and Monday Night Raw and NXT. So we're going to talk about it, as well as we got a special, huge, important announcement here. So stay tuned all the way to the end of the show to find out what it is. And this is not no Tony Khan announcement. This one's really important. Or is it? You got to stay to the end. So you're going to get all that and more in this episode of Triggered Wrestling.
Triggered Wrestling is so awesome all the way around. That gets me triggered.
Ooh, okay, well, let's go with the bad trigger right now.
See, I'm a fan of all of it. We'll force you to watch Triggered Wrestling.
Damn, I wonder what that announcement's gonna be. It might be a surprise. I'm even surprised. I don't even know what it is, and I'm part of this pod. But I'm gonna stay tuned in. What's up, Brian?
What's up, dude? So, like I mentioned before, happy belated Halloween. Hopefully all of you had an amazing day with your families and friends, and hope you all got a lot of candies, because spooky season's over and it is now No Nut November.
It's Christmas season all of a sudden.
Yes, it's the happy holiday season, one day to the next. So just like that, you know what? Let's just hop into WWE Raw here. No segue, no fancy introductions. We're just hopping right into Monday Night Raw. We're raw dogging it, as some might say.
What the fuck?
I don't even remember how this show started. Judgment Day comes out, and then Rhea Ripley's talking about how she's gonna have a tough time at Crown Jewel because she got to fight 4 other women. Sami Zayn comes out, and essentially Sami Zayn is gonna sets up the main event, right?
Yeah, sets up the main event with a match that Rhea Ripley made for Damian Priest, and later on the show, Damian Priest was not too happy about that. I'm assuming, with the whole, Judgment Day doesn't have a leader, and then people are pointing the fingers, like, no, you're the leader. No, I think you're the leader. I think that's gonna come into play with the Judgment Day in the months coming.
Yeah. So, they get in a big scramble here. Dom gets on the mic and say, why don't they just essentially fight Sami Zayn now? But Ricochet comes down to even the odds. And what would you expect? That he is already in his wrestling outfit, bro. Full tights and all. And he ends up fighting Dominic Mysterio to start the show.
Yeah, and like several other times in the past weeks, Judgment Day tries to act tough because they have the numbers game. Somebody evens up the odds and they cowered away. But this time, Dominic Mysterio cannot cower away because, like you said, Ricochet is in full ring gear and bam bam, the match starts.
Like, I know this is WWE style of how they create matches, like, out of the beginning. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. And this is one of the times where I'm like, Ricochet wasn't even out there. He just came out and he already had a match scheduled with Dominic Mysterio, apparently, unless they're just starting matches randomly. Wrestlers booking their own matches. But we get this match. Dominic Mysterio wins via pinfall. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like matches that you hate in AEW, all over the place. It was a great match. It was a decent match, a typical basic WWE match. No complaints here. But of course, like I said, the Judgment Day's numbers come into play. Rhea Ripley and JD Madonna distract the ref. Dominic Mysterio pins via roll-up. Ricochet using the ropes. And from my angle, it looked like the ref was watching in that direction. But of course, the story is for Dominic Mysterio to continue his winning streak. So they gave him the 1-2-3.
Yeah, he gets the 1-2-3 here. And then quickly after the match, we get a hype reel for DIY. And, that leads us to the next match here. Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis versus the Creed Brothers. They're debuting Creed Brothers from NXT. This is a good tag team match. I don't know which one is Brutus and which one is Julius, but one of them, they do like the Doomsday kind of spot where they carry Otis on the shoulders, and then the other guy does a fucking cannonball into him.
Yeah.
It's an interesting move. I don't think it's a good move.
Yeah, that was a weak cannonball.
It is what it is. But the Creed Brothers debut, they get the win, and they end up earning the respect of the Alpha Academy. And this is the start of the reboot of the tag team division. We've seen countless times New Day and the other tag teams just talking it all out backstage. So it's safe to say that we're in full reboot of the tag team division, and I'm all here for it.
Is this reboot, is this something WWE has said online or on TV, or is this something that you are predicting it's going to happen?
I'm predicting it's going to happen. We've seen quite a lot of tag team matches. The tag teams are kind of heavily featured. The New Day, Alpha Academy, DIY. And that's just on Raw. That's not including SmackDown. Of course, we have the Judgment Day. So it's nice to see these tag teams out there now.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of tag team wrestling. I love the Attitude Era and their tag team division. I love AEW's tag team division. But yeah, seems like WWE has not really taken, has not really seen anything in the tag team division in recent years. It's always one team or the other, like you were mentioning, New Day. You know, it was not the same. And if it's gonna be a reboot, I'm all here for it. But the tag teams that you mentioned, I don't know if those are the tag teams that you should be putting on your TVs every week. I think, you have somebody like Street Profits, I think they should be a dominant tag team.
The Suit Profits, bro. The Suit Profits.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the Creed brothers, they actually impressed me a lot. Especially this match with the Creed brothers was great. The chain wrestling between Chad Gable and one of the Creed brothers was absolutely amazing. I was impressed right away. It just sucks that the crowd wasn't really invested in this match until it got a little gimmicky with Otis, and that's when it ruined it for me. But if the fans love Otis, what am I gonna say? But it was a great match, and yeah, that's all I can say. Great match.
Yeah, it was a good match. And then right after this, we get that backstage segment of the New Day dressed up as the New Judgment Day, and they end up running into the actual Judgment Day, right, where Damian Priest is upset about not being out there to help Dominic. Rhea tells him that he needs to focus on the rest of their businesses. He says he wants to cash in at Crown Jewel since they're all supposed to be equals. Did he miss the meeting where everybody else decided matches for each other? But Rhea says that he's the punishment of Judgment Day, which is a good reference to his original wrestling name, Punishment Martinez. I saw that. I thought that was dope. So yeah, so Damian Priest accepts the explanation. They're going to continue to run the show. Anything you want to say about that promo, Adrian?
Yeah, I thought it was great that the New Day went into the clubhouse of the Judgment Day and clowned them in their face. And as always, Judgment Day didn't do anything. So I thought that was pretty funny. Badasses don't want to be badasses all of a sudden. Did you see that food to go container Kofi Kingston was carrying with that little ass Money in the Bank contract?
Yeah, there was like a little lunchbox. Like the little lunchbox Money in the Bank ones that they sell at Barrio Toys.
I thought that shit was pretty funny too.
Yeah, that shit was funny. So right after this, we get a Miz TV segment with Gunther. Gunther does not make his entrance on the first introduction, but Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci come down, and they said that Gunther's not going to come down just because he was told to come down. The Miz is a clown, and then the Miz says that he's been a lot of things, but he's never been a third wheel, never been a sidekick. But then, Vinci says, "Aren't you your wife's sidekick on Total Divas on your own TV show?" He's pretty much just insulting each other very childishly, I used to have a hot wife, all that shit, whatever. Gunther comes down. He tells Miz that he's not his guest and he came out there to make two things clear. First of all, that it's 2023 and is he still trying to run a talk show, right? And then the thing is that the ring is sacred and everything that the Miz does is beneath him. And I know a lot of internet marks are just popping their shits over Gunther clowning the Miz about this, Adrian. So what do you got to say about this?
What is there to say about this? Am I going to do a repetitive thing like Miz has been doing? Miz cuts the same promo every, 6 to 12 months. I'm the best Intercontinental Championship of all time. I deserve to be the champion again. I brought the prestigiousness to this IC title. It's like, bro, I've been hearing the same shit for the past 10 years, bro. Yeah. Do something different.
I beat John Cena at WrestleMania, all that stuff.
Yeah, yes. Bro, come on. Make up something else. Or not even make something else, bro. Have some better writers. I know the writer strike is still going on, but you have a team of creative. Do something else. Miz, you're on a losing streak, bruv. What are you doing stepping to the plate against, in my opinion, a candidate of Wrestler of the Year? This whole show was, had its questionable moments and it had its good moments, and this one right here, it was a horrible moment. I'm glad I skipped some of it. Like how we said earlier on the show about Ricochet and Dominic, Ludwig Kaiser and the Giovanni and Vinci come out to the ring because they also have a match right after this segment, and it's against a DIY, which I was impressed about that. How did you feel about that match?
This match, I was a fan of DIY in NXT. I'm not a fan of DIY in WWE. The match was all right.
Main roster.
Yeah, main roster. The match is all right, dude. It's just, they're going to win when they're wrestling against Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. That's the thing that kind of takes me out of it.
And, Vinci was going to take the pin. He's going to do the job.
Yeah, they just lose so much and it's frustrating. I know you're trying to build something with DIY, but at the same time, you're doing this to tear down Giovanni Vinci. And if the goal is to not have Giovanni Vinci be an Imperium, that should have happened weeks and weeks ago because he's been losing since they debuted. Why is he still getting second chances? You guys literally said last week that if he lost, you'd kick him out, right? He'd be dead, but he
Yes.
is. He's still there. So I don't know. That this is some strange writing, but DIY gets the win. You know, Ludwig Kaiser looks disappointed at Vinci, but he's been looking disappointed constantly, so there's nothing new here.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, man. This is my frustration with WWE, especially to me. I'm not an avid NXT watcher. No, where I'm gonna say, oh, I used to watch NXT back in the day. No, I never did. I'll say it here. But sometimes they do have some great talented people. The Creed brothers, impressed by their performance. By the first time I've seen them, I'm very fucking impressed. DIY, somewhat impressed, but Giovanni Vinci's just... I'm not gonna clown on the guy, I'm not gonna trash him, but he's doing the job. And for him to be an Imperium, a top tag team or faction, it's just, I wouldn't say it's killing it because Gunther is there, but he's useless at this point. He really is. And like we were saying, if all this is just for him to get kicked out, he should have been kicked out long ago. But moving on to DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, when he does the whole clapping thing and pat his shoulders along with Gargano, to me, I see Ciampa as a beast, as an actual wrestler. He has a look, he has a physique, and by him doing that, it's just like, I'm not feeling that. I think he should be like the serious one in this relationship, in this tag team.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the good cop, bad cop type of thing. But that's how I see it. I don't know how other people see it. If you guys think otherwise, please let us know in the comment section. We'd love to have conversations with all of our fans on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, all over the place. Let us know if you're liking the DIY rebirth, I would say, or the reunion. So let us know. Hit us up.
Then we get another one of those Shinsuke Nakamura promos of him speaking Japanese. And Adrian, I didn't see anything that was a call out to CM Punk this time. At least that wasn't clear to me. Is there anything that I might have missed here?
No, it really was not. I did got 2 quotes from him. It looks like Shinsuke Nakamura has his sights on someone because he said, "What are you afraid of?" Speaking to somebody he knows. And then he has like, "Do it. Show yourself." So I have a feeling Shinsuke Nakamura is talking to somebody specifically. But who is it going to be? I know all those references of CM Punk. To me, I don't see any references to CM Punk in there. But I mean, I don't see CM Punk being afraid of nothing. But I don't know. Who do you think he's talking to? Or who do you think he's calling out in this promo?
I have no idea, dude. I still think it's CM Punk. If it's not CM Punk, I have no idea who he's talking to. Unless he's talking to Randy Orton. I mean, that's another person that's rumored to be making a return.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just still don't see it. Unless we start to hear some kind of surprises of voices in my head or something like that, of that nature. But no, I have no idea. But those are my 2 guesses, is Randy Orton or CM Punk.
Yeah, you're right. I did read a report earlier this week that most likely Roman Reigns is not going to be at Survivor Series, and his last match will be at Crown Jewel for the remainder of the year. Don't know if that's true, but you always see those internet rumors out there. And in that article that I read, it said that it's possible that Randy Orton will debut at Survivor Series, which is why Roman Reigns is not going to be on there, because Paul Levesque wants the eyes, the attention on the return of a Randy Orton and not Roman Reigns, because usually Roman Reigns, when he does appear on shows, he takes the spotlight away from people. And knowing Orton and Paul Levesque have a history, I think it'd be a good move. They have a history, they're good friends, that they were in Evolution together, and my man and your boy Paul Levesque is throwing Randy Orton a bone, getting his return, his huge pop. I think that'd be dope for Randy Orton to return at Survivor Series.
I think so too, but in what way? That's the thing. Is it if it's against Shinsuke and then Shinsuke loses? I just feel like you built him up just to have him lose again, But we'll see what happens there.
And even if it's CM Punk too, then we start asking that question again. Well, what's the point of building up Shinsuke just for him to lose?
I think it would be more respectable if he loses to CM Punk than he loses to Randy Orton, because Randy Orton just came back from injury. CM Punk is not saying CM Punk is better than Randy Orton. It's just he's a brand new debuting re-signed wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So moving on, we get Candice LeRae versus Xia Li in a match that everybody seems confused about. I mean, some people are saying she got kicked in the head and was concussed and couldn't continue the match. I will say that this is exactly how the match was planned to end, just based off of the promo that we saw later, right? The little video package of her holding it on her neck. She didn't get kicked in the neck, she got kicked in the head. But I still think this is storyline. But Xia Li wins with the referee stoppage.
Yeah, I think this is storyline wise. I slowed down the TV, fast forwarded, rewind it, and yeah, the first knee to the head didn't make any contact at all, which it's fine, whatever, it's wrestling. Then the second one did hit her, but not as hard. And then after that, when she went down, the referee was, talking to Candice LeRae. Then Xia Li went up to her, tried to grab her from her hair. And I'm like, wait, if she's injured, you shouldn't even be touching her. You should be knowing what to do. you pick up on these things when you watch a lot of wrestling. And yeah, it just looked like it was kind of bad acting, but I'm sure they're going to go with the story. So I'll be looking forward to this, seeing what happens. Maybe Indy Hartwell is going to come into play and Defender. Indy Hartwell did have a great match with Becky Lynch. I did like that match. So hopefully they put more Indy Hartwell in here. Or Candice LeRae might leave for a while, come back and build a tag team with Indy Hartwell. I'd see that too.
Yeah. True. So let's see. Moving on, we get to see a quick promo in the ring with Seth Rollins where he's calling out the big Scottish baby Drew McIntyre. He's telling them that, he's not the same person that he beat back in 2020, right? He's not the same person back then. He's not the Messiah. He's not the architect. And that there's a reason that the people sing his song. JD Madonna attacks Seth Rollins from behind. We actually get an interesting match here. JD Madonna and Seth Rollins actually have a really good match. I was surprised about JD Madonna having a good match, considering he is a jobber. He has not really won anything here in the company, but he puts on an entertaining match here with Seth Rollins. And this is the thing that I kind of want to say is that, and I feel like I say this every week, WWE puts in like a sleeper match, one really good match, at least in every Monday Night Raw and SmackDown now, as opposed to before.
What do you mean? Like they put a sleeper match on, then a good match, and then a not so good?
Sorry, like a sleeper, like for example, like one of the main complaints of AEW fans is that WWE Raw matches are boring, right? Obviously the pay-per-view matches are the better matches in WWE, but I feel like at least one match or two matches out of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown are actually decent matches. I mean, granted, they're not going full out pay-per-view match styles, but they're still really entertaining. They're good.
Oh, okay, yep.
And they get quite a lot of TV time now.
Got it. You mean one of those matches that you don't think is going to be good, but if you're tuning in, you're going to like it. That's what you mean, right?
Honestly, dude, when this match was announced, Seth Rollins, JD Madonna, I didn't care. I'm like, oh, he's going to squash him. But the match was really good. I mean, you forget that a lot of these other wrestlers, JD Madonna, like they're really good in the ring. That's why they're in the WWE.
Yeah, see, and that's my issue with WWE. It's if they're good in the ring, I'm not expecting a 5-star match all the time. I'm not expecting a 4-star match. I'm not expecting an all-out match. Just let them out and let them do their thing. Let them do their talking in the wrestling ring. And I will say this, like you were saying, JD Madonna is the channel changer. He was a jobber. I haven't been interested in him since his debut, and to be honest, I'm not interested in him now. I think this is the problem that I have with WWE, is if you guys don't care enough about your talent to let them go out there and wrestle, why am I going to be tuning in to watch? You saying it's a sleeper match, I'll take your word for it. I'll probably go back and watch it again. But as of right now, I didn't see the same things that you did, mainly because, again, it's JD Madonna. He's a channel changer. But yeah, if you say it's a great match, I'm going to have to go back and look at it because you know your boy. I like good matches. And if you're saying this is a good match, if you're putting your stamp seal of approval on this, I'm going to go back and watch it.
All right, go back and watch it. I mean, so this is the other thing. It's not, all right, so when you watch the difference between WWE and AEW is WWE definitely has a WWE style and AEW has a just go out there and do whatever you want kind of style. But the problem with that is you got everybody going 110% all the time to where the matches are good, yes, but storyline wise, a lot of what happens in the matches doesn't really make sense in the long term kind of thing. If that makes any sense, like the matches are good, yes. We're also getting like a lot of surprise roll up wins because they're just, I already did these 3 fancy moves on you and I'm going to beat you with a surprise roll up. It's kind of annoying to me, but that's me. And I feel like the majority of AEW fans would call this match mid because it's not as action-packed as AEW matches are.
Oh, I don't know about those marks, but like I said, if WWE cared about JD Madonna from the beginning, I would have done the same. Just like the Creed brothers. They cared about him enough. Hey, just go out there and do your thing. Just do what you know best, which is wrestling. Bam! They put on a banger match until Otis got in and started doing the gimmicky shit. That's when I lost interest. WWE had done that with JD Madonna from the beginning. I would be a Madonna fan, but I'm not. And to me, like I said, that's the problem I have with WWE. If they don't care about their talent, to let them go out and wrestle, because like you said, it is WWE. Everybody knows how to wrestle there. So why don't you guys just let them go out there and wrestle? I don't know why. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a 5-star match. It doesn't have to be a 20-minute match. Let them go out there for 7, 8, less than 10 minutes. From 5 to 10 minutes, put on a good match, I'll tune in. But since they made JD Madonna boring to me, then I mean, what can you do?
That's true. So after this, we get the segment of Becky Lynch being interviewed backstage before she's interrupted by Xia Li. I'll let you talk about this, Adrian. What does Becky Lynch say?
She said that she lost her title to a worthy opponent, and she doesn't mind losing. She doesn't care because she's always going to stand up and be a better person. And that person was Lyra Valkyria?
Lyra Valkyrie?
She said Lyra Valkyrie was a worthy opponent, and she was hungry. So she doesn't mind losing to her, but all she's going to do is just going to get back up and get better. She also said that in a span of 42 days, she defended her title more times than Rhea Ripley all year, and more times than Roman Reigns has all year as well. And that's when Xia Li comes in, like how I said last week on the episode. So now that Becky doesn't have the title anymore, where does Xia Li go from here? Is she going to challenge the title holder or Becky Lynch? And she's challenging Becky Lynch still, but it's going to be on her terms. I mean, to me, I'd rather challenge Becky Lynch on the main roster than to go for a developmental title on NXT. So I think this is a good move for Xia Li and WWE management. Hopefully they'll let her wrestle and not do something like they did with Candice LeRae earlier on the night. But I'm excited for this match.
I'm excited too.
When it happens, I'll be excited. But until then, I'm still going to be tuning in.
Plus, we got a podcast, so we got to watch the wrestling, bro. So, yeah. But yeah, I would be excited to see Xia Li have a match here. I remember when she first came up, she had like a whole anime entrance on SmackDown, and then she just disappeared. And then now she's back. So we'll see what goes on with that. But next we get the Trick or Street fight, or the Trick or Treat fight, whatever it was called. But it's Chelsea Green. I'm sorry, I should say Bret the Hitman Hart, and from the dead, Jim the Anvil Neidhart come down and face Natalya here.
AKA Allie the Bunny from AEW.
Allie the Bunny from AEW. And a match that Matt Cardona is calling long-term booking because there was a picture from Survivor Series. It was when SmackDown invaded Raw, or when Raw invaded SmackDown, where Natalya is like holding her SmackDown team back, and she accidentally she puts her hand on Matt Cardona's junk, and he says that this is Chelsea Green's revenge. So this is long-term booking here. Chelsea Green versus Natalya in the Trick or Street fight. Adrian, what did you think about this match?
I think it was what it was. It was a gimmicky fight, like gimmicky. No disrespect to the indies. I love going to the indies, but this was straight just that on a WWE ring. I didn't like some spots, especially like where Nikki Cross came into play. Like, I'm not invested in her character at all. I wasn't really invested in her superhero gimmick or the crazy gimmick. I don't know what Nikki Cross's deal is, and I'm not interested at all. But the match was okay. So. I know they were putting candy on the ring, and then I think Natalya took a power bomb, or Chelsea Green took a power bomb on there, and I'm like, come on. Bro.
On candy, yeah. It was candy in a bag.
You could have at least put like some Legos or something that actually, I'm not expecting thumbtacks or nails or anything, but do something else instead of candy.
You're expecting Legos, bro?
But they hurt, bro. Have you ever?
I know they do. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather land on thumbtacks than Legos, probably.
No, I'm like candy corn. I'm like, bruh, at least fucking what's the not Laffy Taffy, that chocolate Laffy Taffy, whatever it's called.
Tootsie Rolls?
Tootsie Rolls, yeah, those
Tootsie Rolls. Chocolate Laffy Taffy,
whatever,
bro.
I don't know what they're.
What the fuck?
I don't know what they're called or what they're made out of. I would have had Tootsie Rolls, bro, because I think that they hurt more than candy corn.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. I did enjoy this match. It's the gimmick Halloween match that they have every year around this time. It was entertaining. The only thing I didn't like was the Nikki Cross spot, and it's only because I think they messed it up because Chelsea Green, there's 3 pumpkins. She pulls the first one, she pulls the second one, and she covers it back up, but like she didn't see who it was. But then she pulls up the third one and then goes back to the second and acts surprised. Like we just saw it was Nikki Cross under there.
Yeah,
that's the only complaint I have about that.
No, and then right after that, I don't know if you saw it, Chelsea Green puts the pumpkin in her head, and then she just starts wobbling and tripping over stuff. I'm like, what was the point of you putting it on your head then? You should have never done that. I don't know.
Yeah, she was so surprised that she dropped the pumpkin on her head. But either way, it doesn't make sense. But either way, that match gets us to the main event of Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. This was also a good match, but you know that Judgment Day with the number game, they're going to be down there. Damian Priest wins by disqualification just because Jey Uso comes down, Finn and Dom come down. Damian is talking to Cody Rhodes through the camera, just all the shenanigans going down, but Damian Priest wins by disqualification. Do you want to talk about the match, or you want to talk about like what happens after?
Yeah, the match, Judgment Day, obviously the numbers were always going to come into play, but I did want to say something about Jey Uso, You know, the whole teasing Rhea Ripley's doing in the back. A lot of people are saying that Jimmy Uso's going to the Judgment Day. And he did cause Sami Zayn the match, especially after that heartfelt promo Sami Zayn delivered early on the night. He said he was going to take out Judgment Day, even if it's 1-on-1, 3-on-1, 5-on-1. He doesn't care. He was going to take him out. And later on that night, Jey Uso cost him the match. And I'm like, if they're going to plant some seeds on where this story going to go and where is Jey Uso going to go, did he jump from Bloodline to the Judgment Day? I have a lot of questions. How did you see the ending?
I mean, I don't think Jay's joining the Judgment Day, but I also saw online that people are saying that Sami Zayn is going to turn heel, but I don't see that either. You know, it's too early to tell. I still think that maybe Jey Uso and Sami Zayn are eventually going to get in a feud over this, just like how Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre are getting in a feud over this, that one doesn't believe the other one isn't going to be joining the Judgment Day. So I feel like that has something to do with this. And it's not copy and pasting. It's just they're got to set up the Elimination Chamber match somehow. You know what I mean?
I didn't say anything.
Either way, bro, I think that all this is still related to the bloodline and previous unsolved issues that all these wrestlers have.
It's true, man. This one is a tricky one, too. You know, and I know there's some fans out there that have different predictions as well. So if you guys do have different predictions, please let us know on all our social media platforms at Triggered Wrestling. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, X, hit us up on TRIGG_WRESTLING. Brian said that Jey Uso and Sami Zayn are going to have a feud similar to what Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre are, where you're in the bloodline, no, you're in the bloodline. I predict that Sami Zayn is going to have some trust issues because he cost him the match. There's a lot of things going on, and for once, I'm like, okay, cool. If this is going to be the end of something, cool. Just wrap it up. It's been long enough. Just go ahead and do it. But I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. So let's go down a quick rundown here on WWE NXT Halloween Havoc Night 2. I didn't watch these because it's Halloween and I got 2 kids. So yeah, I got to take them trick-or-treating. So I didn't see this. But Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo versus the Creed brothers in the tables, ladders, and scares match. What did you say? That this is Los Perros del Mal?
The bad dogs or the dogs of bad or something?
See, I don't know. Either way, but the Creed brothers win. They've had a busy couple days. They win by doing the Brutus Ball thing on Humberto Carrillo. Dominic Mysterio's defending the NXT North American Championship against Nathan Frazier. Dom wins. We get Braun Breaker versus Robert Stone or Tony Khan Jr., I think you called him. Or what did you say?
The wannabe Tony Khan. I don't know if you're...
The wannabe Tony.
I think it was like 2018, 2019 when that guy Stone was coming out with suits, had hair similar to Tony Khan and similar goofy glasses. Yeah. And that's where I got it from.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Well, Braun Breaker wins with a spear. So, I mean, but yeah, so Von Wagner's apparently back and attacks Braun Breaker after that. Then we get Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus JC Jane and Thea Hale for the WWE Women's World Tag Team Championship. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven win. Then we get the tournament finals of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. We get Lola Vice taking the W on... Kalani Jordan.
Yeah, Lola Vice needed to win that one. She has a lot of eyes on her, management, fans. She is going to be a future star in the WWE. Best believe it. You heard it here first. And it's not just because she won the tournament. I had my eyes on her.
Jesus. Yeah, but for the main event, we get Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. Ilya Dragunov wins with the Torpedo Moscow, retaining the NXT Championship.
I saw some highlights from that match. I thought it was great.
It was great, but the reason is because Trick Williams essentially cost him the match a little bit.
Yep, looks like Trick Williams has his eyes on somebody that attacked him a few weeks back. Allegedly
attacked him.
And also, I don't know if you saw it too, Alexis King delivered a promo earlier on that night and said that, you know, I'm going to be here. I'm a future star and I've already done things, but you'll find out. And a lot of people were saying, like, oh shit, is it Alexis King who attacked Trick Williams? That would be a good twist. But then, you know, people were like, well, why is he attacking people? But I'm like, bro, he's trying to make a name for himself. He's a new guy in the company. Obviously, somebody's going to attack somebody, especially if you're a new guy. So whether it's Alexis King or Carmelo Hayes, I'm all here for it.
Yep. So that ends up our NXT recap here. So let's kind of go into our news segment before we get into AEW Dynamite. You know, we saw the end of AEW Dynamite last week where Bryan Danielson got injured. He just had some surgery to repair his broken orbital bone. And apparently he didn't break it. He didn't get injured that match. He got injured back when he had his dream match with Andrade, because people are saying that he actually had a bruise, a mouse, under his eye. So it might have been slightly fractured, and whatever happened in this match kind of
made it worse.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm sad that he pretty much told everybody he's doing his going away tour. He's doing dream matches with no storyline, and then he's out again. Like, he just came back and he's out again. Like,
yeah, that's kind of sad. Knowing Tony Khan, I don't think he's gonna add months to his contract. I don't think he'll do that, especially, Danielson, has been through a lot, did come back from a serious injury that he suffered in WWE. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to add months to his contract, but if he is trying to go out by just having matches with a lot of people that he wants to have matches, by all means, go for it. But hey, as long as he delivers and stays safe, I'm here for it.
Yep. So, speedy recovery to Daniel Bryanson, or Bryan Danielson. Jesus Christ. And then also Matt Riddle just got announced that he's having his first match since his release. And his first match is going to be none other than RVD at March 9th. Bro. The King of Bros is taking on the original OG bro, RVD.
Let me ask you this. Are they going to partake in some of that devil's lettuce before or after the match?
Before, after, and during the match. It's going to be all over, bro. That's what I fully expect. And then also Matt Riddle just announced that he's going to be having a kid, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, you saw a picture. He had a little bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Well, that's the positive part of our show, so let's get into the negative part of our show. Just kidding. AEW Dynamite, November 1st. The show starts off with the Orange Man versus the Bald Man. Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli. And I said this earlier, they do everything in this match. It's entertaining, but then Orange Cassidy wins with the victory roll, and it bugs me. Just that it happens so often, especially when it's a Orange Cassidy match. But the match is good, it's just I have an issue with the ending, with the way the finish.
Yeah, and if you looked at the audience, if you heard the audience, it was the Orange Cassidy got a mild little pop. It's not that they don't like him, it's like, really? It's like how we were saying last week, you already had your lengthy title reign. Are you seriously going to have another one? Because Full Gear is in a couple weeks. He's going to defend the title there. But, I mean, come on. Like you said, a roll-up again. Maybe I would have thought maybe like 4 or 5 Superman punches or something. But yeah, I mean, I like the match. But like you said, kind of like how I don't like Dark Order from Wish matches, because they all end the same. And this one ended in a roll-up, and it was disappointing for me.
Yep. And the other thing during this match is that we do get Hook and Wheeler Yuta kicked out of the match for some weird reason. So I'm assuming that we're going to see them at Full Gear in a pre-show match at some point. But after this match, Jon Moxley comes out and beats the living dog shit out of Orange Cassidy, and nobody comes to save the Orange Man's life.
Not even his so-called best friends.
So the announcers made it clear that he was there by himself, and Hook was the only guy there available.
Oh, damn. Pay attention to the product, right?
Yeah, pay attention to what the announcers are saying, my guy. Shit. But after this match, we get the Hung Bucks versus the Mogul Embassy. I haven't seen Brian Cage in a while, mostly because since we don't review Rampage, I don't watch Rampage. And then I think he was on there on Saturday, and I was watching the World Series. I don't know. I haven't seen Brian Cage in a while is what I'm trying to say. But he's here. They get a title shot, and Swerve Strickland comes down and makes his presence known to Hangman Page. When he leaves the middle-aged Bucks in the ring to the Mogul Embassy, I knew their goose was cooked. We get new champions here. The Mogul Embassy win. So now they're the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, and they were the previous ones as well, right? They're the previous champs as well.
Yeah, and I think it was Taz who announced it on the show that since they were the former Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, they activated the rematch clause in this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. So that's how they got their rematch. But funny thing about this, I don't know if you saw when Hangman and Page and the Young Bucks came down to the ring, that graphic that shows up in their names.
Yeah, they constantly roast Hangman Page on all of them.
It said Hangman needs to invest in a new security system.
One of our followers on Facebook mentioned, he's like, that should be the least of his worries. He should be more worried as to where his wife was when all that shit went down. Because she wasn't at home.
She left the baby alone, and somebody was saying he needs to invest in a babysitter.
Yeah, damn. See, none of that came up through my head until I saw that comment.
Like you said, the Mogul Embassy retained their Ring of Honor championships, and the Young Bucks, they were salty about it. They were a little pissed off, and I'm like, bro, you guys look like clowns. You guys don't even look like you guys are pissed off. This is bad acting at its finest. And I'm like, bro, just go to the back and argue there.
Exactly. This is the other thing that I have issue with having at AEW is, didn't they win at Wrestle Dream the #1 contendership for the tag titles?
Yes.
And nothing has been mentioned about that. And we're about a week away from the pay-per-view, 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view.
I think it was like that episode of Dynamite after when they put it on the graphic and they said that the Bucks were gonna do their rematch clause at Full Gear. So the match is already set at Full Gear. I know FTR lost the championships.
I don't think it's at Full Gear because at Collision, didn't Ricky Starks and Big Bill, when the FTR came down to the ring, they were like, oh, you guys aren't going to get a title shot at Full Gear. So I don't know. There's so much other stuff going on that the actual #1 contenders are completely out of the title picture. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that can also go into play of heels not wanting to give babyfaces their title shots even though they already earned it. I mean, I don't know. That's questionable. It happens all over wrestling. But yeah, the match was already announced for Full Gear. Then Ricky Starks says, no, they're not getting a match. If they don't get a match, then damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I just know I have an issue with Becky Lynch and WWE, so I'm gonna call it out on AEW when it happens. The same shit goes down because we're triggered wrestling, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then speaking of things that trigger me, this part doesn't trigger me. I'm just gonna mention it. Throughout this whole episode, MJF's been trying to look for a partner, and after all these times of trying, it's clear that it's gonna be the Acclaimed. So I'm just gonna spoil the alert. That way I don't bring it up each time after every match. So there's that. So we get this promo here from Adam Copeland again with Tony Schiavone, and he just, I don't know. He just fucking slobs on Tony Schiavone again, saying if you guys knew how many hats this guy wears, you'd bow down to this man or whatever he said. But it's just ridiculous. Like, he butters him up every time.
He's a lovable guy. He's a jolly old guy, bro.
I don't know, but honestly, I feel like all these promos from Edge are the same. Christian Cage comes down with Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. Sting comes down, so it's clear that it's going to be those three versus Edge and Sting and Darby Allin probably at Full Gear. Anything that you want to add to this?
No, I mean, it's pretty much simple. You know, I like that they're doing a different thing every other week. It's not the same repetitive shit over and over. I know I had an issue when Dominic Mysterio kept calling Rey Mysterio a deadbeat week after week after week, and with the writer staff, head of writer and creative, they couldn't come up with nothing differently. And I like how they're doing it differently. You know, one week he's talking to Tony Schiavone, next week he's talking to by himself, then the next he's talking backstage with several other people, then this week he's talking with Tony Schiavone again. Different things, different weeks. I like it. Give me something new. No writing staff in here. But yeah, Adam Copeland finally broke. You know, he's like, hey bro, like, I've been doing nothing but nice things to you. You try to attack me. Christian Cage comes out and says he's gonna injure his neck. He's going to put Adam Copeland in a wheelchair so his daughters can wipe his drool away. And I think that's what hit him. That was the final strike for Adam Copeland, and he broke. He gave his old buddy a spear, and yeah, the match is going to be set for Full Gear, and I'm all here for it. But saying again, Adam Copeland did put a lot of praise on Darby Allin, and Darby Allin has been a workhorse for AEW, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. You know, I seen it. I give him his props. I know he's gonna climb Mount Everest. I think, what is it, in February, if I'm not mistaken. So Darby Allin's doing his thing. I'm a fan of his, big fan of his.
You know who I'm not a fan of?
Who?
It's Tony Khan with these announcements, dude. So Tony Khan finally comes out with his big announcement, and his big announcement is that his family has had their Christmas tree up since July. So he's gonna give everybody the gift they've all been wanting, which was the announcement that December 1st, tickets for All In 2024 will be on sale. And oh my God, this guy he just doesn't learn, does he?
I guess not. Even I said it. I'm like, what kind of bullshit announcement he's going to announce this week? And there's nothing wrong about announcing something, but if you're going to announce something, Announce something that's worth it. You know what I mean?
So speaking of announcements that are worth it, the big announcement here from Triggered Wrestling is that you can see us next November 12th at Barrio Toys to hang out with Thunder Rosa from 2 to 4. We will be there. We will be square. So get your tickets at Barrio Toys.
Yep, if you guys are here in the Northern California area, Roseville area, hell, you're even from Reno, come on by to Barrio Toys, man. Thunder Rosa is going to be here. I'm fucking excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm always excited to meet these wrestlers at Barrio Toys, and mostly importantly to converse with other wrestling fans instead of just on the onlines, because it's nice. You know, when you see these people online, you're like, you're not going to be as terrible as you are in person, and it's different, and I like that. So that's awesome. But things that I'm not happy with is the way the rest of this show goes down. We get Cool Hand Angela Parker and Daddy Magic versus Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho weren't going to lose. They end up winning. But Don Callis gets on the mic with the Callis family. And apparently Kyle Fletcher is now a member of the family. Is the other guy injured?
Yes, I think he broke his wrist at Wrestle Dream.
Didn't he just come back from injury also?
No.
I thought he hurt his hip and that's why they were gone for a while. And then he came back. Okay. Anyways, point story. He's been injured now. So Kyle Fletcher is now a member of Cal's family. He calls them dummies. And then, Omega says it's bad enough being a dummy. He'd hate to be called a stupid head. Childish jokes. Ha ha ha. I'm sure people loved it. But we find out that the big man that they've been alluding to joining them is none other than the Big Show, Paul White. And once again, I see, and that's the thing. You guys have so many wrestlers on your roster that you could bring up. Why use the Big Show just because he's big?
I would have actually done Lance Archer. Lance Archer did come back in an episode of Rampage. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. Use him. I like the Big Show. Don't get me wrong. I grew up watching the Big Show. He's great. Some people might put him in their Mount Rushmore, but come on. I'll agree with you on this one.
I mean, I hate to say it like this, but Sting not too long ago said that, I really like having Ric Flair around. It really reminds me of the days in WCW. And I'm like, I bet it fucking does remind you of WCW. You got Chris Jericho. You just had Arn Anderson out there. And the Big Show's there wrestling. So I bet it fucking feels like WCW 40 years later. You know what I mean? And it might sound like I'm hating, but I'm just like, geez, these are still active people that are constantly on your television screen today in 2023. And that's what I have an issue with. Paul White, you guys have so many people.
Like who?
Satnam Singh that are big. Satnam Singh. You could have used Wardlow. You could have used, like you mentioned, Lance Archer. Yep. Shit, you could have gotten someone young that is tall to do. You have Sean Spears that is just as tall as Wardlow is. He's not as big, but he's tall. That's the issue I have with this.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw too, when they were doing that, when the camera was zoomed out, one of Paul White's legs, I think it was the right one, it was bent over. I'm like, this guy's not going to be able to walk down that ramp.
Yeah, he's got I guess the knee issue when your knees are kind of going inward instead of straight or inward knees, knock knees.
Yeah, but that's Jericho's beef with him and Will Hobbs. But there will be a third man alongside Jericho and Kenny Omega, and that will be Kota Ibushi. That's also a returning guy. He's not going to be with Paul White's team. That's a different side of beef. But I'm excited for that Kota Ibushi, though. Not so much about the Paul White.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, moving on, we get Hikaru Shida versus Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida, the all-time women's champion here that is a fighting champion. Hikaru Shida wasn't going to lose. She doesn't lose. Post-match, Toni Storm comes out. Then the lights come out. And then Julia Hart is in the ring with Willow Nightingale. And Adrian, you talk about this.
Yeah, so, Shida's first ever 2-time and 3-time AEW Women's Champion. She gets the victory over Willow Nightingale. And if you notice too, Willow Nightingale, the mist, the eye, that eye that was evolving around her, basically turning her to the dark side, is no longer there. So we know that Willow Nightingale fought the dark side. She's not in House of Black or with Julia Hart's little faction that she's trying to create. But yeah, as the light goes out, Julia Hart appears in the ring. She's trying to put the mist on Willow. Then Sky Blue comes in. Sky Blue then turns around and sprays blue mist on Julia Hart. So does that mean Sky Blue also fought the dark side and is not going to be joining Julia Hart? Or is just she trying to fight it still? I don't know. But I'm still going to see where this is going forward because I like the story. The House of Black story is pretty dope. I'm going to be tuning in on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I don't understand if women are immune to the mist, or if it is just... Actually, how did Julia Hart join? Because she got mist in her face too,
yeah,
right?
with by Malachi.
Oh, that's who it was. Okay. All right. Fuck, man. I don't understand the story. But we'll see where it goes. At least they have some sort of storyline going on for this. I got to give them props. And then, so we mentioned that MJF was going around town trying to find somebody to team up with. He even gives Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh, the Jarrett family offices, a chance. But he declines them. And then Roderick Strong and the Kingdom, they roll up. Calling Adam Cole, saying that MJF didn't even ask them to be a team with them, and Adam Cole tells them to shut the hell up. So the Acclaimed end up being MJF's partners here against the Bullet Club Gold, and of course they had to ask MJF to wear pink Scissor Me Daddy shorts. Chones, what do you want to call them?
Yeah, that pink Burberry scarf, I thought was pretty dope. And it's also Daddy Ass's 60th birthday on November 1st. The man looks fucking great for 60 years old, bro.
I mean, steroids.
Allegedly.
Alleged steroid use works wonders, allegedly.
Hey, he still looks great for a 60-year-old.
He does. I gotta give him props. But Bullet Club Gold, they end up winning. Jay White hits the Blade Runner on MJF. And then he ends up trying to take MJF's head off with the title, with the Triple B. But then Max Caster takes a bullet for MJF. Aww. Bullet Club Gold end up running away and leaves the baby faces in the ring to do a quadruple Scissor Me Daddy.
Yeah, that shit was funny because Daddy Ass got on to MJF. He's like, he took that hit from you. You go over there and scissor him now. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I know you think this is cheapening MJF stuff, but me, a guy that loves the Attitude Era, a guy that still watches the Attitude Era to this day on Peacock, this reminds me of the time when The Rock and even Stone Cold Steve Austin were some of the top guys in the company, and they were still acting like goofballs, and it was okay because not only were they badasses in the ring, they were great workers in backstage, and I love it, and I see, I'm not gonna say MJF is right up there with them, but I see similarities in MJF, the way he carries his character. He can be a good wrestler, he can be a great worker, a great talker. He's also somebody that can have fun in the ring with his coworkers. I used to love The Rock when he did it. I love Stone Cold. I actually saw a clip of Stone Cold refereeing a match with The Undertaker and Kane, and it was just a complete goofy ass match. In today's day, that wouldn't fly with some fans. But I saw that clip and it reminded me back of that shit. It was pure comedy gold. At some point, Stone Cold Steve Austin delivered a stunner on The Undertaker. The Undertaker was going to pin Kane. He didn't count. When Kane pinned Undertaker, Stone Cold was counting really fast. It was just all a bunch of shenanigans, a lot of tomfoolery going around. And I love stuff like that. You can do that with MJF. If it worked back in the day, it could still work now, but it has to be done great. And I think it's great. MJF is doing a phenomenal job as a heel champion that acts like a goofball. It worked for The Rock, it worked for Stone Cold Steve Austin, it worked for DX, it worked for NWO, and it's working now. I love it.
Did you catch the reference where the announcers said that they were going to have a quadruple scissor when they see JR?
Yeah. Yes.
And then Taz was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a good little funny fucking reference there from the announcers. But yeah, so follow us on Triggered Wrestling. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and leave some comments for us, please. We are Triggered Wrestling.
Before we do leave, I want to ask something. I want to ask you and the listeners, and if you guys do want to get into the conversation, like Brian was saying, join us on all the social media platforms. To me, I know Becky Lynch delivered that promo and she said she defended the title more times than Rhea Ripley and Roman Reigns. Reigns, right? MJF is now the longest reigning AEW World Champion at 348 plus days. In your eyes, how do you see a world champion? Is it somebody that's a draw, just a draw completely, no matches, no appearances, no nothing? A fighting champion, a champion that's there on a weekly basis with storylines and just interacting with people? Like, what's your criteria for a real world champion?
Ooh, I really don't know if there's a specific criteria I go for. I do like Seth Rollins' reign because one would say he's defending it like a workhorse, but he's really not. He's just defending it like every pay-per-view. But then you get Roman Reigns, who's a complete just fucking draw. He doesn't have to put on 5-star bangers. Like, he's going to be drawing big numbers, big main events, and people will care about what he does. I would say that MJF is somewhere in between there. Becky Lynch was the workhorse champion.
Yeah, she was defended in Raw and NXT and in the PLEs too.
I honestly like it somewhere in between, but Roman Reigns, you can only do that with certain people. Like if it was Chris Jericho out there now, how he is now, defending it once every 4 months, I would hate it. It just has to be the right person to be able to do that. And currently Roman Reigns is the right person.
Yeah.
But ideally you'd want somebody like MJF or Seth Rollins to be there all the time defending it.
See, to me, I like a fighting champion. Becky Lynch was doing her thing with the NXT Women's Championship. The issue that I have with Roman Reigns, and this is my guy, I love Roman Reigns since the moment I saw him in the Shield. To me, I feel like a champion, a world champion, the face of the company. Even if you're not defending the title, you still need to be there. I mean, the man has more returns than title defenses. That has to say something. One, you have to be in the show. You don't have to have a match every week. You also don't have to defend your title every week. But at least show up. Rollins is a fighting champion. Some could say he could be Wrestler of the Year. I'm not going to argue that. But like you said, he is only defending it on big events like the PLEs. And I don't know if you noticed, this was Rollins' first WWE Raw match in a long time. I think 2 months. And it was against JD Madonna. He doesn't wrestle often in Raw, but he shows up on Raw. He shows up as a title. He makes stories, has promos with other people. See, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
I will add one more thing. I don't like that Roman Reigns is not winning as many matches as he should be cleanly. If he's that big of a draw, he needs to be winning a little bit more cleanly instead of getting help from the bloodline.
Yes, and I think this is an issue people didn't like about Roman Reigns back in the day. Or I wouldn't say back in the day, I would say maybe like 5-6 years ago, was because Roman Reigns was the top babyface. He was running through everybody. He was literally the fighting champion. Vince McMahon literally created a faction for the sole purpose to put Roman Reigns over. League of Nations, I think, with Rusev, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and Alberto Del Rio. That whole faction was built for the sole purpose to put Roman Reigns over. I thought it was great. Some people didn't like it, but it's like, if you could do that back in the day, why are you needing help now? It just doesn't add up. If you're the top dog, you shouldn't be needing as much help as you need, And maybe once in a while, but every match?
Yeah, it's every match. It's kind of frustrating. But, I mean, it is what it is. We're just casual viewers. I wish we had some more say, but we do not. And also, congratulations to the Texas Rangers who just won the World Series.
Yeah, in Game 5. I actually just got the notification, too.
Damn, bro. So does that mean that the excuses are over for ratings after today?
Apparently so. Well, I don't watch baseball. Is it every day they have a game?
Stop, man. Fuck you, bitch. You know damn well what the schedule is.
I saw this, but it's not like I have it implanted in my head. Is it like literally every day, or is it like every other day?
It's like every other day, every third day, something like that when it's the World Series.
Oh, okay.
This guy.
Damn, it's Game 5 already?
Yeah, bro. They got schmacked.
When did it start?
I don't know. 5 days ago, 7 days ago, something like that.
Yeah, see, I
just pay attention to the ratings when they start losing million viewers, bro.
Watch, you're gonna be like, well, it was a Game 5. It was clear that somebody was gonna win today. So,
bro, honestly, this episode of AEW is probably gonna be probably by the time this episode comes out, the ratings will already be out. But I'm sure it's gonna be a terrible number because it's going right against
the final game,
the World Series, the final game. Yeah.
Prediction. Let's do a prediction before we leave. I probably say.
Oh my God.
7. No, I'll probably give it like 7. High 7s.
High 7s. Okay, so if people were to watch the whole game, the game just ended. That means AEW was probably over 6th inning-ish, 5th inning-ish. I'm going to say that the beginning 30 minutes of AEW was decent, and then it just tanks, and then overall, I'm going to go with 500K. 595K. That's when I go with my number.
All right. That's it for us, guys. Be tuning in. Make sure to hit the follow button and subscribe on YouTube and all our social media platforms. I'm Adrian. That's Brian. Most importantly, stay triggered.
Bang, bang.